Hey, g'day everyone. Welcome back to another episode in the shed. You might see behind us, Bertha's a little bit dirty.
She is. She's been out on the road.
So we have been out in her. 2 weeks we spent in it. It was 2 weeks, 1 week at one place, another week at another place.
Yep.
So we went to the Lee Burn Sprints and the Gympie Muster. And we just sort of wanted to do that, one, because we love those two events. Well, the one event we knew of, the Lee Burn Sprints.
And the other one we wanted to experience, so.
Which was awesome.
Yes, awesome.
Those episodes will be coming. But it was mainly to get out there and just to see if everything worked. Yeah,
see how all the renos actually held up. Whether she held together or just like rattled to pieces down the road.
Well, you can see she didn't rattle to pieces, so.
So that's a win.
Well, I say that. A few things did rattle off.
Yeah, it did rattle to pieces. Anyway.
What we're doing today, guys, is we're going to answer your questions. We put it to you very recently to let us know what you wanted to know yourselves about the reno or anything really.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to go through some questions and answer them all.
It's generally how a question and answer works.
Shut up, Erin. So we've got a lot of questions, guys, so I reckon we'll film it all and put the answer to all of them on Patreon and then just put a decent amount on YouTube so it's not a super long video.
Sounds good to me.
Cool. All right, let's get stuck into it. Were there any issues with the high checker plate when driving?
None.
No. I know a lot of people were concerned about the reflection, and you can even see now while the lights are on, there is reflection.
Yeah.
But to be honest, the car covers 85% of it.
Yeah.
Well, I got nothing in the mirrors at all. And
I think the sun's got to be in a very specific spot for it to be.
It does.
Doing
It will shine.
any damage.
Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not naive about it. It will reflect light. But so...
Science.
But so does the canopy on the car. So do the big metal trucks that are highly polished. So, you know, there's heaps of stuff like that out there. But It was fine.
We spoke to the guy who made it and he said the same thing. Like, it will dull naturally over time anyway.
Yeah.
So it won't be as reflective. So we're not super worried about it. If it does prove to be a problem, obviously we'll do something about it. But it hasn't.
It hasn't so far. Would you choose an old van and renovate again? What would you do?
I really liked the process. I don't know if it's worth it money-wise.
See, I'd say the opposite.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, if you were going to buy a newer 24-foot van with the big battery system and everything else, what would you pay?
Yeah, true.
You're paying $100,000.
Yeah, easy.
We didn't spend $100,000 on this. Not even close. But that question, look, I'll say it's subject to each person.
Yeah.
And even myself, if we could afford a brand new van right now, I'd go get one.
Yep.
It's like everyone's in a different situation. So right now, yes, I'd go do it again. The other reason is because I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and that's it. We do enjoy that kind of work.
Yeah. And because I know what I'm doing, because I used to build caravans. What are those gas bottles? These ones here. Comp gas. So they're a composite gas bottle. They're common overseas in marine applications. And basically, the company who's importing them and bringing them in just sees them as being a good option for the caravan market. They are expensive, but that's because the cost of them bringing them in at the moment. They will go down. The more they sell, the bigger the amounts they bring in, the cost will go down. So I like them because they're lighter, but not a hell of a lot lighter.
But they just save you some kilos.
Yeah, I mean, if your ball weight's a big issue, that's definitely something to do. But they just look better. I mean, they don't rust. They just look nice. So
we should probably answer that other question about filling them.
Now?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. All right, let me find that. You've thrown a spanner in the works here, Erin.
Someone says,
I know the question. Yeah. I don't know why
we don't need to probably read it word for word, but someone asked, are they getting hard to fill, these gas bottles?
Yes and no. When you take it into, we mainly go to BCFs when we fill up the gas bottles. They look at it like it's an alien, and then they just ask the question and you explain what it is. 99% of the time it's fine. They do charge you for a 9 kilo, even though they're 7.5. That's because they just don't have anything different in their system.
We did have one issue at a place, right, though?
It was Mackay. It was Mackay BCF, but they ended up filling it.
Yeah. But what did they ask for?
No, they said they got told they can't fill them anymore because they didn't. They were
with a stamp or something.
Gas bottles have a stamp for the date because they've got a lifespan. I think steel bottles are 10 years, but these are 15 years. And they were unsure about the stamp, but it's not a stamp as such, but it's on the collar, so it does actually say.
Okay.
But anyway, it's just because they're new. No one's educated. I mean, once you see more of them, because some manufacturers are putting these on from factory, the more they're out there, the more people will know. This is a question for me, I guess. Do you think you will go back to building caravans for a living? Nah. I really enjoyed building caravans. It was a long time ago. It was, so I used to work for Kedron, if you didn't know. Kedron Caravans, awesome company. They were great to work for, but I was quite young. I didn't like caravans then.
Didn't appreciate.
I had zero appreciation for what I was working on.
Yeah.
Now I love caravans, so it's funny. I wouldn't build caravans now because I just couldn't earn the money that I earn chipping. It just wouldn't be worthwhile. And I could do my own thing, like we could reno vans or I'd love to even build a brand new caravan and get into that.
We've always tossed around the idea of like building a caravan from scratch, but I do think that's getting harder to do.
There's new regs.
Stuff, yeah.
You need the money to back yourself to do it.
Yeah.
And we're focusing heavily on Camp for a Cure, so that's where our time and energy is going into. Yeah, if I have too many things going on, I'm going to fail at all of them.
Yep.
If we just focus on one thing, which is Camp for a Cure and now and ever, that's hopefully what will keep going.
But we may reno some more vans in the future.
Yeah, I'd love to. Honestly, would love to. This question basically is what you asked before. Was it cheaper than buying a newer van? Yes and no. Definitely cheaper than buying the van we would want. Equivalent, newer.
That does everything that this one now does. It has all the capabilities that this one does.
So basically, this van owes us about 60.
Yeah.
It's around 60K. Maybe a little bit more. Also, we got sponsored quite a few products in here.
Yeah.
So that definitely helped out. So I'm not saying that everyone is going to be in the same position. But for us, 60K, if you have a look at what's out there for 60K in a family bunk van, it won't, this has everything we want. You won't, I don't think you'll find something that has as big of a battery system and everything else that you want. So. But
also at the time that we bought this van, the van prices were still quite high.
Yeah, so the market's changed all the time.
The market's changed again, which would obviously impact your decision if you were going to do it again.
Yeah, worth it for us because any money we've spent on it over the time frame too. It's not like we spent that money up front. So it's, for us, definitely worked out better than buying a newer van.
We couldn't have afforded a new van, so
it was circumstance.
This was our only option.
Circumstance, eh?
Yeah.
So same as before. It's everyone's in a different situation. This might not be ideal for someone else. It was ideal for us. So, what's left that you would like to do to the caravan? Plumbing system, because that's why it's back in the shed here.
Yeah. Wasn't it just the awning?
Yeah, the awning. We said we weren't going to do that because of money and stuff, which is the case, but when we rolled it out on those 2 weeks, I was thinking, it's actually worse than I thought.
Oh, really? I didn't notice.
Just the outs.
It still was an awning.
It works.
So.
It works, but it's got it's just due to age, it's got pinholes in it and stuff, so it's not the most watertight awning you've ever seen. Other than that, touch up the paint inside.
Yeah, there are some.
Because the dogs are scratched some bits.
If we were going to sell it or something, we definitely have to do that.
But no, pretty much we've done everything we want to do to it.
Everything we wanted to do,
Will you make I Used to Build Caravans merch? It's so funny, eh? The I Used to Build Caravans started with Cam from Wild Touring.
Yeah.
When we were, we caught up with them, Cam and Tiff and the family, over in WA on our lap.
Yep.
It was a conversation, beers around the fire, eh?
Yeah, it was just a bit of a running joke. And even Cam said then, he was like, you need to make a shirt with that on it.
Because we were just talking about how I used to build them, and I must have said it about 5 times.
Because you've probably noticed he says it a million times in every conversation.
So the question was, will we do it?
Yes,
But
we are going to do it.
There's something
Just
coming.
for a laugh, we're going to do it.
I don't know why you want shirts that say that, but there's something coming. Hold
What's
tight.
the acronym we've come up with? IUTBC.
TBC. Yeah.
IUTBC.
I used to build caravans.
Yep.
Stay tuned. All right, Erin. If you had beam axles, would you consider swapping out for independent suspension? Would you swap yours for airbag suspension? Do you understand what that means?
Oh, yeah, this is a question for me. So,
look, if you bought a caravan with leaf and beam suspension, which is pretty much what you call on-road suspension, there are options out there to upgrade it and cut out your suspension and put off-road suspension, like Cruise Master is a very common one to do. It really comes down to how much you love that van. If you absolutely love that van and you either got it for a steal or you own it outright and you just don't want to sell it, then yeah, do it. Personally, I'd just find a van that is already set up as an off-road van with off-road suspension. That's just me personally. It just takes a lot of that work and expenditure out of it. Is that a right word? Expenditure?
that is a right.
Sounds right. Would we swap ours for airbag? Nah. So we had airbag suspension in our van that we did the lap in.
Yeah.
And it's cool. Like,
It was awesome, and I honestly didn't know how I was going to live without it.
but we both thought that. We were like, oh, this sucks going from airbags to having to get out the ramps. God, getting ramps out,
It's
I reckon
not
it's
that big of a
quicker.
deal.
I reckon it's almost quicker than leveling your van with airbags.
Yeah. in
It
some
really
ways,
takes 2
yeah.
seconds. And I love the suspension on this. The Simplicity axles, it's just amazing. It just rides so well. Nah, I wouldn't change it out for airbags. But then again, if I was buying a brand new van, we had the money for it, if it had airbags, yeah. Was the reno difficult, or did one of you build caravans for a living at some stage? Yes, Erin built caravans. No, look, it wasn't difficult. The most difficult thing was coming to and from and doing it on weekends. Because I'll be
Just
working.
the time of it, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be working Monday to Friday to try to get some money behind us and just generally live. So that's been the hardest part. Like, doing the work to the van isn't hard. Actually, the next most hardest part is filming it.
Yeah.
I could've-
Just because it makes things take so much longer.
I could do this so quickly if no one was watching me, or I wasn't setting up cameras or making sure I was saying the right thing.
Maybe if you had an assistant that knew what she was doing.
I did. You did good. You did good. Don't sell yourself short. What type of sticker did you use for the solar panels? I have no idea, because I didn't install the solar panels.
Huh.
That was done by Custom Lithium. They did. So basically, when we did the initial reno, we just sent the van into them, told them what we wanted, and they did it all. Because, you know, setting up an efficient system in a caravan, that's their jam. So sent it off to them. We didn't have a relationship with them back then, so we paid full price for our system, and do not regret it. That was the biggest thing about doing this van, was we wanted a big battery system.
Yeah, that was like where all of our expenditure really
It was
went.
about
Expenditure,
15.
see that?
Yeah,
is
it is the right word,
Yeah.
isn't it?
That's where all of it went, and that's what we budgeted for, because that's what we wanted.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't regret it
We
at
have
all.
not regretted it one single day.
No. Are you going to upgrade the canopy setup? I'd love to upgrade the canopy, but costs. We all know what canopies cost for a nice, really good looking one. I'm going to refit out the canopy we have, just because I understand what I want now, and I'm going to move a few things and do some little different things, but time is a big factor for that, so I don't know when I'm going to do that, but
Time and money.
it's on the cards. Yeah, so one day. Someone wrote in. That's like an old TV show, isn't it?
A letter.
We received a
Sent
letter.
it in the post.
So someone wrote, we are torn between buying a newer van or renovating our 2011 21-foot solid, reliable van. Is it worth painting the cabinets? Is it worth changing out noisy old aircon?
I think painting the cabinets is quite a cheap way of giving the van like a whole facelift, really. It can make it feel like a completely different caravan.
You remember how dark and brown this was when we first got it?
Not our vibe at all. And now we love it. It's like, it feels like a house. So it's just like a lot more homely, I feel.
Obviously, painting cabinets, you can have the issue of it flaking or scratching, but we bought good quality paint. We spoke to a paint shop about it. We primed it properly.
We sanded everything, like we prepped properly.
Yeah, the only thing that's happened is the dogs have scratched it, and like you know, no matter what paint you're going to do, dogs get their claws up against it, it's going to scratch it. So we'll touch that up, but you know, I think it's worth it.
I think it's held together really well, the paint, honestly. I did have doubts about it.
And is it worth changing out the noisy old aircon? Yeah, aircons are pretty cheap.
I don't know. I feel like we've yet to test that enough to make comment.
Yeah, well, it really depends. Like, do you have a good battery system? Are you running it off grid, or are you just plug it in at caravan parks? If you just plug it in, all caravan aircons are pretty noisy. So I probably wouldn't worry then. But you know, if you've got a good 2011 21-foot van that you love, do some stuff to it. If not, and you got the money, upgrade it.
It really comes down to personal preference and the effort, like the time and money that you're willing to put into it. If you don't want to put that time and money into it, then you're probably better off going something newer.
Would you ever consider doing Camp for a Cure in other states, you know, like Victoria? Hint, hint.
We'd love to, honestly. We'd love to make it a thing that we can take on the road, hey?
Yeah, I think we'll continue with our Gucci Creek Camp for a Cure.
Just because we're like learning so much about holding events and all the requirements and everything, and it's going to be state specific, so then you have to learn all about that in other states as well. So.
And we want to make it a thing, so we want people to know that every year they can come to Gucci Creek and we're going to hold that event there.
Yes.
But then what I'd love to have that event there every year and then have a travelling event at the same time. So, you know, we've spoken about this. We'd absolutely love to. It's just a matter of time, perfecting what we're doing.
Getting the skills to make sure that we can do that in like a safe, effective manner, I guess.
And money. It costs a lot to do it.
It does cost a lot of money, which is something we're learning this year as we try to grow it.
Yes.
So.
But so next year is 3rd and 4th of May, and it's at Gucci Creek again, and tickets are coming soon. We are head down, thumbs up. Thumbs up. Yeah. I don't know why. Bums up? No, well, that's right. The game was heads down, thumbs up. No, we're heads down, bums up.
Yes.
Organising it.
Working our butts off. Yes. Trying to get it all ready.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome, though. We've got some great acts locked in.
We do. We've got some pretty cool things happening. But yeah, there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, so. Stay tuned. campforacure.com.au. Sign up to the mailing list there. You'll find out as soon as tickets are released, as soon as anything's released. What big trips have you got planned for the future? None. That's not to say we're not going anywhere, but
we haven't planned anything.
So we're really just winging it. So
we don't really plan things these days, do we?
Nah. So we're actually about to head off again in a week, and we're just gonna jump in the van and go.
Yep.
We know we're going north.
We decided that like a few days ago that we're going in a week for 2 weeks.
Yep.
Then, no idea after that.
Just wing it. This is a typical question for us. How many beers were evaporated during the reno? Honestly, not that many. Like, I know every now and then you'll see us with one, but because we don't live here, this is a half-hour drive for us.
We had to drive. Yeah,
so we're sensible. We'll have a beer or two, but also, as soon as I start having beers, all motivation's lost. So I'm hopeless. If I'm
the opposite.
The opposite?
The opposite is a new word.
Well, you know who's driving home tonight.
I am the opposite in that it probably helps me get a bit motivated, making the work a little bit funner. But
so a few beers were evaporated on the trip we just did.
Oh, definitely.
Quite a few.
Most definitely.
Next one. Hi guys, just wondering, did you make the van any heavier with the checker plate front and rear? Yes and no.
Yes and no. I think, because we took a lot out as well.
The check
slightly heavier, but I wouldn't think it would be too much.
Not too much, no. That checker plate's quite light. It's a 1.5 mil, and we tore stuff off and replaced it, and things like the aircon. The old aircon was heaps heavier, and the new one's way lighter. So, you know, it's probably a little bit heavier, but not by too much. Did you have any help from Grant at Living Like Kings? I heard that he used to build caravans. Well, I don't think he did used to build caravans.
I think he's just building one now.
Yeah, he's fixing up his van. They got a older bush tracker. I think it's 2003. That's a nice van. And yeah, it's awesome. He's just doing some work to that thing, making it nice again. And yeah, no, I didn't have any help from him, but I'll give him some tips if he needs some, because I used to build caravans. All right, did you consider a composting toilet?
No.
I did.
Did ya?
Yeah, and I think we even spoke about this and we did consider it.
I haven't considered it. I don't want one.
You flat out don't?
I don't think so. I just think it with the kids, I think it's going to be too hard.
Oh, mate, with how quick you and the kids fill the toilet, I would almost love it. It's hard. Like, that's one of your limiting factors to going off-grid. It's almost like better the devil you know.
Are you going to be on toilet stirring duty though?
Oh, see, that's gross. I don't know. And I've heard
Isn't
a few...
that something you have to do, like stir it?
Yeah, but some of them are automatic stir. You just press a button.
Oh, so
Other
that
ones are
wouldn't be
just a
too
lever.
bad.
Yeah, no, you're not getting in there with a spoon.
I literally thought you had to get a stick and like stir it around like a wooden spoon.
Nah.
Well, that's not so bad.
Nah. Look, I totally see all the benefits, but yeah, I don't know.
And because like what happens if something does go wrong and it doesn't start breaking down? Then you have to like empty it out and stuff, don't you? And that's...
Look, my main thing, and I'll be completely honest here, is when you do have to once a month or whenever it is, do you tip it out into your bag and do all your new peat and stuff, because that's the stuff you put in it.
Oh yeah.
Where are you doing that? Like if you're in a caravan park, someone's walking up past your awning and you're like, just playing with dunny here. I don't know. I don't know. It's a funny one.
But maybe that's going to be the way of the future. So maybe everyone will be doing it.
Yeah. Look, I'd have a crack, but just the main reason I didn't even consider it any more than the first thought was there's a lot of tidying up to put it in the space where our toilet is because of the way it sits in there. So that's the main reason why. Have you regretted not painting the checker plate, and how is that big donkey of a battery going? The checker plate we touched on before, but the battery, amazing.
Amazing. There's nothing bad to say about it.
Yeah, like, so we went from 400 amp hours to 560, barely touched the edges. It's just so good.
I don't think we've ever got below 70.
Yeah, I mean, we've only been 2 weeks in it, so
yeah,
time will tell. I mean, we might park somewhere where there's no solar at all, and
but that's 2 weeks living fully off grid though.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. But better to be looking at it than looking for it.
And running the aircon, like we did run the aircon a little bit.
Yep, I used the induction cooker heaps. We used the microwave heaps, and yeah, like I said, barely touched the sides because we got 1,200 watts of solar. Next day, straight back up.
And even with like we were parked in shade sometimes, and even with the shade, we had no trouble.
So love that. If you want one of those batteries, custom lithium, there is a discount code. Okay, this is a question. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? 3.
70.
Yeah. Well, that's... Let us know, guys. 3 or 70. What was the biggest marriage tester building this? Nothing, hey?
I don't think we had any, no.
No, we're pretty good. We've got the same goal, so...
Yeah.
There was no issues. The hardest part was, like we said, travelling here and with the kids, basically. What do the kids do while we work on the van? Because Erin's filming while I'm working on it and Erin's working on it, so...
It's boring for them.
Yeah.
That was probably the hardest part.
Yeah,
they
lot,
were probably
lot of
ready to
time.
divorce us more so than anything else.
But between you and I, no dramas.
No.
None at all.
It's hard for me to be told what to do sometimes. I struggle with
true,
that.
Actually.
I do struggle with that.
What brand of caravan would you recommend to avoid buying? What caravan would you recommend to look at buying and renovating? Look, I don't have enough experience with them. Even though I used to build caravans, I don't know. Stop laughing every time I say it.
3 or 4? I don't know what we're up to.
Even though I used to build caravans, I only just built Kedrons and have renovated this van and a Viscount that we had.
Yeah.
That's my experience.
I feel like it's too hard to compare them all. Like, it depends who builds them, like the build quality, and there's so many out there.
The thing with caravans too is that almost every single one is hand built.
Yeah,
there's so many different people on each caravan that you can have with one brand a good van and then a dud van, the next one on the line. So I couldn't tell you what a good van and a bad van is to buy. I mean, I have my opinions about other vans, but I haven't owned them, so
it's hard. Yeah, it's really hard to know.
A lot of what you go off is what other people say. So
and
it's a hard
unfortunately,
one.
with stuff like that, you only really hear the negative things, not so much the good things.
People don't voice the positive as much as they voice the negative.
Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately, we don't have any answers for you on that one.
No. So all of them and none of them all at once. All right. Biggest improvement and biggest regret.
Ooh.
Biggest improvement, battery system.
For you?
For me, okay. I thought you were going to agree.
Don't tell me what to say. Don't tell me what to do.
You got to say painting it.
I like the painting it. I think painting it made the best difference for me.
Yep. Fair enough.
Obviously, also like the battery system. I love that and what it lets us do. But for me, I'm about like what it looks like.
Biggest regret? I don't know. I don't really.
Only the colour I chose for the lounge.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Glenn trimmed up the lounge for us,
which I love.
Did an amazing job, but also the material we chose for it.
Yeah.
It just you can't clean it.
Just with the kids, it's too light. I would pick something darker.
What material is that we used?
It's a faux leather.
Yeah.
And I probably wish I had because we were obviously trying to do it very budget. I probably wish I had either gone like a darker, just like regular material if budget.
Or actually even leather, like.
Yeah, but leather would have been quite a step up.
Yeah,
in price,
that was too much at the time.
Yeah, but leather if I could afford it.
It's not that bad, but we notice it.
Yeah, I notice it because I'm so proud of it in there, and I'm so proud of the job that Glenn did for us and everything. It just really grinds my gears to see it getting dirty.
Well, actually, it's a good time to ask if you've got a good cleaning product for like a fake leather situation. Let us know because we need it. Do you know the train schedule off by heart now? No, we don't. But there's so many trains go past.
By the feel of it, sometimes.
It's funny because it's coal trains and it's passenger trains.
Yeah.
So so often we're filming and we just stop because it's just a train rattling past.
Yeah, I think that's why we started doing a lot of work on Sundays because that's the quietest day.
Yeah.
Sad days, it felt like literally every 5 minutes there was a train going past.
Even now while we're filming this, there's been so many trains and we just stop.
Yeah.
We're just used to it now. we're just talking and then we just both go, and wait.
Speaking of.
Is that one coming?
One now. Yeah. Cut back in 5 because
No. That's a car. It's a sub.
Is it?
Yeah. So here's the thing. We're on a main road as well. So we've got the train line out the back and then we've got a road that like before and after work, it's just pumping. So yeah, that was a car with a sub.
But beggars can't be choosers.
No,
so
absolutely
we're
stoked.
Absolutely not complaining.
Like we've said, we were in the front yard of my mum's house the first time.
Yep.
We're now in this amazing shed. So Thank you to my boss once again.
Again, massive thank you. Yes. We probably owe him about 10 cartons of beer.
And then drink them all. All right, this is a good one. Can you still say you used to build caravans now that you've built one?
We haven't technically built one.
That's where I was going to. We haven't actually built this caravan. We've renovated it.
We just fixed it.
Yeah, I used to build caravans. So no. Yes. What was the question?
No.
No.
We can't say.
No. I could say I renovated a caravan.
It's true.
I used to renovate caravans.
True. Maybe one day we'll be able to say we build caravans.
I would love to. Like I've touched on it before, but I would absolutely love to build a caravan from scratch. Like possibly buy the chassis, but build a caravan from there would be a dream. But it's time consuming and costly. I know some people who have built caravans and they end up spending as much as you would to buy a caravan.
Train.
Yep, there you go. They end up spending as much.
Just wait.
As a passenger train, it was quicker.
Yep.
They end up spending as much as they would buying a van because when you're doing one of one, you just don't have the discounts on anything. So yeah, it's a hard one, but I would love to do it, even if it costs us.
It'd be like just an awesome experience, I think.
Yeah. Let us know. Would you like to see that? Would you like to see building a caravan from scratch?
Yeah.
Righto, guys. Hope we answered all your questions there. Look, if you have a question that we either didn't get to or you didn't put in early enough, just chuck it in the comments. We'll go through all these ones and answer them. Make sure you stay tuned. Next week, Fraser vids with Cam.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a good time.
I've seen some of this footage and it looks like they had a good time.
So that'll be the next 2 weeks, I think.
Yep.
And then we go to our break-in. Lee Burn and then Gympie Muster. So stay tuned.
Yes.
And then after that, we'll show you the plumbing system, which I'm yet to do. So, but that's the last thing.
I don't know when he's fitting that in, but we're getting there.
But that's the last thing. Once I've done that, Bertha's done. She's out of the shed. No more in the shed.
No more in the shed.
No more in the shed. But like we said, guys, there is merch coming. I used to build caravans. Stay tuned.
We'll do a pre-order for those, I'd say. So we'll let you know. Keep an eye out on the socials and we'll let you know when they're available.
But yeah, guys, once again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah.
For the whole renovation. The response has been amazing. So yeah, appreciate you all.
Yes, we do.
We'll see you next time.
See you then.
So, was that a little moment? And then I was just straight on to the next question. Yeah, that's it. That's all you get.
So much love. Oh, I just burped and all the fizz went up my nose.
First world problems.
Wow. That sneak up on you. Okay.
But then,
if you put together Cam's footage and this footage, it's going to be like an hour-long episode of you just burping and farting.
I can't wait until you all see the Fraser stuff. That was awesome. Okay, moving on.